Is there life after death? Forget what you think you know about the afterlife. We're diving into untold stories of transition, where reality challenges belief. Does life after death exist? Humanity has pondered this since the dawn of consciousness. But what if some people have already found the answer, returning from the brink of oblivion? We're talking about near-death experiences, or NDEs. Stories so fantastic, they're hard to ignore. Millions worldwide who've survived clinical death or critical conditions report strikingly similar experiences. Out-of-body sensations, meeting deceased loved ones, traveling through a tunnel to a bright light, feeling overwhelming love, or conversely, deep terror. These tales, passed down from ancient epics to modern hospital rooms, make us wonder, are they just dying brain hallucinations? Or something more? A glimpse of another dimension? As a skeptical investigator, I can't simply take these stories at face value, no matter how compelling they seem to the teller. My job is to separate fact from fiction. What exactly happens to a person's consciousness during the transition? Can these vivid, life-altering experiences be explained solely by physiology? Or is something more at play? Something that still eludes our scientific understanding? For many NDE experiencers, it's undeniable proof of a soul or afterlife. Their worldview shifts forever. Fear of death diminishes and life gains new meaning. But our goal isn't just to believe, but to explore. It's here, at the intersection of personal experience and scientific inquiry, that our deep dive into the mysteries of the afterlife begins, where every whisper from beyond the veil requires careful examination. While NDEs are personal, ancient civilizations left us entire maps of the afterlife, carved in stone, written on papyrus, and passed down orally. Virtually every culture, from the most primitive tribes to the greatest empires, created its own, often incredibly detailed, vision of what awaits us beyond the final curtain. Take ancient Egypt. Their Book of the Dead isn't just spells. It's a detailed guide to navigating the Duat, the realm of the dead. We see a complex journey full of dangers and trials, where the soul must face the judgment of Osiris, its heart weighed against the feather of Ma'at. It wasn't just myth. It was a comprehensive belief system that shaped Egyptian life. Or ancient Greece, with its realm of Hades, divided into Elysium for heroes and Tartarus for villains. The ferryman Charon, the river Styx, the three-headed dog Cerberus, all elements of a meticulously crafted geography of the underworld. In Norse sagas, we find Valhalla, where fallen warriors go, and the grim Helheim, abode of the goddess Hel. As a skeptic, I have to ask, why do these maps differ so much in detail, yet share striking similarities in structure? Almost everywhere there's a transition path, a judgment or trial, and a division into good and bad afterlives. Is it just a reflection of universal human fears and hopes, a shared desire to make sense of the inevitable end? Or do these archetypes, deeply rooted in the collective unconscious, point to some shared, albeit distorted, truth about the reality beyond? We see mythology, religion, and philosophy intertwined in these cultural narratives, shaping entire worldviews. They served not just for comfort, but also for maintaining social order, instilling fear of posthumous retribution or hope of eternal bliss. But is this proof of an afterlife, or just testament to humanity's boundless imagination and need to control the unknown? Our investigation is just beginning. We've talked about ancient maps of the afterlife, crafted by human imagination and cultural tradition. But what if these maps are taking on new, unexpected shapes thanks to the accounts of people who seemingly went beyond and returned? We're talking about those who came back, people who survived clinical death and are ready to share their experiences. Their accounts, collected in thousands of studies worldwide, are often strikingly similar. Many describe an out-of-body experience, seeing themselves from above, observing doctors trying to revive them. Then comes the tunnel journey to a bright, all-encompassing light. Meetings with deceased relatives or beings of light. A panoramic life review. Despite cultural and personal differences, these stories contain surprisingly recurrent elements, which is certainly food for thought. As a skeptical investigator, I can't simply dismiss this testimony, but I also can't accept it as literal proof of the afterlife without careful analysis. Modern medicine offers several explanations for near-death experiences, trying to unravel their mystery from a physiological and psychological perspective. One common explanation is hypoxia, oxygen deprivation to the brain. In critical oxygen shortage, the brain can generate vivid hallucinations, similar to those described by NDE experiencers. Other theories point to the release of endorphins, causing euphoria, or the action of dimethyltryptamine, DMT, a powerful psychedelic thought to be released by the brain at the point of death. Abnormal activity in the temporal lobes can also mimic out-of-body sensations and encounters with beings. However, even these scientific explanations can't always fully encompass the complexity and depth of the experiences. What about cases where people in clinical death report details of events happening in another room, which they couldn't possibly have seen or heard? Or those who acquire new knowledge or skills after an NDE that they didn't have before? These questions remain open, challenging purely materialistic explanations. We see science actively seeking answers, but it can't yet fully explain the entire range of phenomena. The testimonies of returnees remain a powerful source of inspiration and mystery, prompting us to continue our investigation at the intersection of faith and facts. We've explored personal testimonies and ancient beliefs, but what about hard scientific evidence? Can we measure consciousness after death, or at least its potential existence in a lab? It's an incredibly complex task, but scientists are constantly trying, developing ever more sophisticated experiments and theories. One well-known project is the AWARE, Awareness During Resuscitation study, led by Dr. Sam Parnia. His team placed special shelves with images visible only from above in intensive care units. The idea is simple. If a person truly leaves their body during clinical death, they should see these images and later describe them. The results of AWARE-I and AWARE-2 have been published, and while there were cases of patients reporting visual or auditory sensations, convincing confirmation that they saw specific hidden images hasn't yet been obtained. It doesn't disprove NDEs, but it doesn't provide the ironclad proof that science seeks. Other studies focus on brain activity at the moment of death. Modern technology allows us to record the electrical activity of the brain even during cardiac arrest. Some data shows bursts of gamma waves, activity associated with high levels of consciousness and memory in the last moments of life. This could be a pre-death activation of the brain, or something else that requires further study. Beyond empirical experiments, there are also theoretical constructs. For example, the quantum consciousness hypothesis, proposed by scientists like Stuart Hameroff and Roger Penrose. They suggest that consciousness isn't simply a product of neural connections, but rather a result of quantum processes occurring in the microtubules of neurons. According to their theory, called ORC OR, orchestrated objective reduction, at the moment of clinical death, the quantum information that makes up consciousness doesn't disappear, but returns to the universe, potentially being preserved. Sounds fantastic, right? As a skeptic, I must note that this theory remains a hypothesis and is heavily criticized in the scientific community for the lack of direct evidence. We also encounter attempts to apply information theories to consciousness, viewing it as a complex information pattern. The question then becomes, can this pattern exist outside of a physical carrier, the brain? So far, this is an area of profound philosophical debate, not experimentally confirmed facts.